They dread parties. How's the weather? Busy week? Seen any good shows? Feels meaningless. Crave conversations about ideas, meaning, purpose, truth. Small talk drains them completely. Everyone says just make conversation be social, but surface level feels like torture. Today, 3 objects reveal the psychology of people who prefer deep conversations over small talk, and why your need for substance isn't snobbery, it's intellectual hunger. Rachel left every party exhausted from shallow talk. David craved philosophical discussions, not weather chat, not antisocial, just depth-seeking. These objects witnessed intellectual starvation. Subscribe to Spoony and Friends because this validation resonates. Comment, do you hate small talk? Here we go.
MUGSY here. Rusty blue ceramic mug. I held coffee during mornings. Someone realized they didn't hate socializing, hated superficiality. My owner, Rachel, 29, researcher, party invitation, dreaded it. Not because disliked, people because knew what awaited, hours of housework. Whether crazy right, seen that new show, soul-destroying emptiness disguised as conversation. I was there. Rachel made coffee in me. Before party, already exhausted thinking about it. This is psychology of depth seekers. They don't hate people. They hate meaningless exchange, not antisocial, intellectually hungry. Small talk to depth seeker like eating. Cardboard when starving, technically food, provides nothing. They experience small talk as cognitive pain. Neurologically, depth seekers' brains crave stimulation, complexity, meaning. Small talk provides none. Brain literally starving during surface conversation, not preference. Biological need, like extrovert needs social energy, depth seeker needs intellectual substance. Rachel at party, how's your week been? Her brain shutting down. No stimulation, no complexity, no meaning. Cognitive starvation. They can do small talk, it just costs everything, Rachel learned. Can perform small talk like speaking foreign language, exhausting smile, ask surface questions, give surface answers, pretend interested, technically socializing, internally dying. 2 hours small talk equals 2 days recovery, not because weak, because pretending substance exists where none does, drains completely. They're waiting for someone to go deeper. Rachel's strategy. Ask one deeper question. Test waters, how's work? The question, it's fine, but what actually drives you? What makes you feel alive? Her question, 99% of people, uncomfortable. Change subject, back to weather. 1% of people, eyes light up. Real conversation begins. Rachel searching for that 1% worth waiting through. 99% surface? I held Rachel's coffee during mornings. She stopped apologizing for needing depth. She wasn't snob, was intellectually starving, not antisocial, just substance-seeking.
Spoony here, plastic spoon. I stirred ramen during quiet evenings. Someone realized they bonded differently than others. My owner, David 31, philosopher, friends invited him, sports game. David, what if we discussed existentialism instead? Friends, confused. Just watch the game, have fun. David couldn't. Watching game equals no connection for him. They don't bond through shared activities. They bond through shared thinking. Most people connect by doing things together. Sports, movies, dining, events. Depth seekers connect by thinking together. Ideas, concepts, questions, meaning. Activity without substance equals empty. For them, David at game, surrounded by friends, completely alone. Friends bonding over plays, teams, scores. David thinking, this is meaningless, we're not connecting, just existing near each other. They need intellectual intimacy, not just physical presence. Regular friendship, spending time together. Depth seeker friendship, exploring minds together. David had friends who knew his favorite food, movie, hobby, but didn't know his deepest fears, biggest questions, core beliefs, surface knowledge. No real knowing, felt more alone with them than actually alone. They're attracted to people's minds, not their social performance. First date, person, charming, funny, socially skilled, David, but what do they actually think, believe, question, fear? Couldn't connect to performance, needed substance, another date? person awkward, socially clumsy, but discussed philosophy, meaning, existence, truth. David, completely captivated, real connection, social skill, irrelevant, intellectual depth, everything. They measure connection by conversation quality, not time quantity. David's best friend, saw once every 3 months, talked for 6 hours straight. Philosophy, meaning life, death, purpose, left energized, connected, fulfilled. Casual friends, saw every week, talked about weather, work, shows, left drained, disconnected, empty, quality over quantity, depth over frequency. I stirred David's ramen during evenings after meaningful conversations. He stopped forcing himself to normal social activities, started seeking intellectual connection, not antisocial.
Spike here, steel fork. I sat at table during quiet mornings. Someone learned. Saying no to small talk wasn't rude. My owner, Sarah, 33, writer, colleague, want to grab lunch. Sarah, what would we talk about? Colleague, offended. Just lunch talk. Normal stuff. Sarah knew normal stuff meant weather, weekend plans, work gossip, politely declined. Colleague thought Sarah was rude. They're not rude. They're protecting finite energy for meaningful exchange. Sarah had limited social energy. Like everyone, difference. Spending it on small talk left nothing for depth. Had to choose. Waste energy on surface or save for substance. Not rude, strategic. They can't pretend interest they don't feel. Some people fake interest naturally. Social lubrication. Depth seekers can't or won't. Someone talking about TV shows Sarah doesn't watch. Others nod, smile, ask follow-up questions. Sarah can't, feels dishonest, exhausting, meaningless. Face shows boredom, can't hide it. Not trying to be rude, just can't fake engagement. They'd rather have no conversation than forced conversation. Silence, comfortable, even preferred. Forced small talk, torture. Sarah alone at lunch, peaceful, content, energized. Sarah at lunch making small talk, anxious, drained, irritated. Choice clear, chose silence. Others saw antisocial, rude, unfriendly. Sarah felt self-preserving, honest, selective. They're waiting for invitation to go deeper, not broader. Sarah's dream invitation, want to discuss psalm ething, meaningful. Reality invitation, want to chat about random stuff. First, yes, always. Second, no thanks, not because disliked person. Because format wrong, same person, different conversation. Depth, Sarah, all in. I sat at Sarah's table during mornings. She stopped explaining herself. She wasn't rude, was conversation selective, not broken.
3 patterns, 3 validations, 3 truths. MUGSY held coffee during mornings, needing depth, not surface small talk, cognitive starvation, not socialization, performing costs everything. Searching for 1% depth among 99% surface, intellectually starving, not snob. Spoony stirred ramen during evenings bonding, through ideas connecting, through shared thinking, not shared activities. Intellectual intimacy over physical presence, attracted to minds, not performance. Quality conversation over quantity time. Spike sat at table during mornings, protecting energy conversation selective, not rude. Finite energy saved for meaningful exchange. Can't fake interest genuinely absent. Silence preferred over forced talk. Depth protective. You're not antisocial for hating small talk, not snob for needing substance, not rude for being selective. You're intellectually hungry. That's not flaw, that's depth seeking, that's valid. Hit like if you prefer deep conversations. Share with fellow depth seekers who understand. Subscribe to Spoony and Friends, we validate substance cravings. Question: do you hate small talk? What depth topics energize you? Comment: you're not antisocial. You're intellectually hungry, and that's beautiful.